fan. What did he tell you?
Yeah, I spoke to the fan named Jeremy Price, who goes by the courtside tattoo dude, and he told me that, yeah, he was exchanging verbal spars back and forth with Luka Dončić throughout the game, telling him that his shots, he was leaving them. JT Orr thought it was aimed at him when the fan admitted it was aimed at him. And the fan told me that last year he has a history of going back and forth with Luka. They did it in the playoffs last year as well. Now, the pool report, Tony Brothers, the official crew chief, said that the vulgarity was directed at the official, but clearly the fan didn't believe that was the case. Courtside
tattoo dude actually having Luka's back in all of this. I didn't see that coming. There's going to be a lot more courtside talking, I'm sure, tomorrow, because Luka and this Lakers team going back to Dallas.
Yeah, Luka told us it's going to be very emotional for him, but he told us that he wasn't quite sure how he's going to react. He figures they'll get some adulation and appreciation from the fan base. Clearly, he left on good terms with the fans, but he's also looking forward to seeing. He does feel a bond and a closeness with his Laker teammates going back for this game. It's only been 2 short months that they've been together, but he said they're a group of good guys and they get along well. LeBron told me on Luka's return that we need to have his back. We need to, embrace the camaraderie of the moment. And he said, so long as we do our jobs, we should be able to give Luka the best gift that we can, which is walking out of the arena in Dallas tomorrow night with a win.
They want to do all they can to have his back with the way he's been able to contribute to that team. Can't wait to see it. It'll be right here on ESPN tomorrow.
Thumped the Thunder all the way back on Sunday by 27, trying to put that on hold. Thunder up by 3. Later, Luka, 4-3. Lakers within 1. Second quarter, Thunder up 8. Dalton Connect. Going for it. Denied. Isaiah Hartenstein saying, not on my watch, with the insane block. Just over 3 to play in the first half. Thunder up 6. SGA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for 3. Thunder up 80-72 at halftime. Not exactly a defensive monster game here. Early third, LeBron from deep. Lakers within 4. Late third, Lakers down 1. Luka just whoa, that's deep. Got it.
Okay.
Man, he's magic.
Casual.
Lakers take a 2-point lead. Later, Shai. Guess who else is magic? From deep, Thunder within 3. Fourth quarter. Here's LeBron on Luka getting tossed.
It was a weird couple minutes after that, starting with the ejection. I don't know why the ref was taking it personal. He had already gave Luka 1, and Luka knew that. And Luka was going back and forth at that time with a fan that was sitting courtside, like Luka does when fans get to talk out of their mind, whatever the case may be. And Luka was going back and forth, and the ref took it upon himself to think it was, versus him or whatever the case may be. But then another tee on Vando after a block shot. And the game was just weird as hell after that moment.
So LeBron explaining what Luka was saying, talking to a fan. Ref thought he was or did. And I'll tell you what, I'm a drumstick fan. If you're flats, we can get together and have some wings anytime, my friend. I'll tell you what.
Thanks.
Thanks, Perk. We'll see you in just a bit.
All right, let's get to Edwards and the Timberwolves on the road taking on Giannis and the Bucks. And get this, the Bucks, they were down by as many as 24 in the fourth quarter. You saw that 3 from Giannis. You see the turnover here. This is the next play, and this is A.J. Green, the deep 3. It's an 8-point game now. A couple possessions later, Bucks still trailing. Bobby Portis Jr., he knocks down the 3. It's a 3-point deficit now. Later in the corner, Giannis on the break finds Green. Another one. He knocks down the 3. They scored 23 straight points, game tied at 27. But watch Rudy Gobert and Porter Jr. get tangled up. You see Gobert fall to the ground, and then they get in each other's face. They're both called for a double tech. Gary Trent Jr., he also gets a tech. Everybody's getting techs. And you know what that means. Anthony Edwards is on the free throw line, shooting 1 to put them up 1. So ensuing possession, Timberwolves with a 1-point lead, but that time things don't go well for Edwards. Loses the dribble. Porter Jr., the easy drunk, and they take the lead. Then you see the Timberwolves could not hang on to the ball. Giannis, the exclamation point. Bucks win 110-103, the final.
All right, got an update for you. Warriors facing the Suns. Steph Curry looking to bounce back from a game after scoring 3 points last game. Not quite Steph-like. First quarter, Warriors up 16-10. Dre finding Steph. That's Steph-like. Corner three, they're up 19-10. Later in the first, let's look at Steph right here. Give it to him. Oh, fading away. Off one leg, got it to go. Second quarter, Curry lobbing it up to Trace Jackson Davis, who throws it down right now. The score at halftime, 69-43. All right, there's still not much separation between things out west. Look at how close this is. Warriors currently in the play-in tournament based on their tiebreaker against the Clippers. They're just a single game between the 4th seed and the 8th seed, with Denver currently sitting in 4th. And I'm glad we mentioned them because they made some news earlier today, right?
Yeah, they did. More like the wild, wild west out here, because just days left in the regular season. 2 years after winning a championship in the Nuggets, they fired head coach Michael Malone. They also will not extend GM Calvin Booth's contract. Denver is 11-13 since the All-Star break. They've lost the last 4 straight. Here's President Josh Kroenke on the decision.
There were certain trends that were very worrisome to me at different points in time, but they would get masked by a few wins here and there, and winning can mask a lot of things. We went on an eight-game win streak right before the All-Star break, but since then I think we're 11-13. We've lost our last 4, and we're trending towards a direction that I thought would probably be a very near end to our season in the near future. After talking with my father in recent days, we came to the decision that we were going to be changing these roles at the end of the season. From that point forward, I think that I became comfortable with the thinking of let's try to shake this tree and squeeze as much out of this as we can, and that's where we arrived at with the decisions today.
Okay, worrisome trends is kind of the headline there. Back with Perk. Perk, how surprised were you that the Nuggets decided to fire Mike Malone?
I wasn't surprised, and here's why. Like, I saw the writing on the wall all season long. How many times have we saw Mike Malone come in after the game in his post-game interview and complain about his team not competing or playing defense or not giving the right effort or giving no effort at all? And when I started to hear those type of things, that comes down to the coaching and the guys accepting the coaching and listening to their coach. And I strongly believe that Michael Malone lost the ears of that locker room a long time ago. And so now all of a sudden you have to make a decision, because now guys are drowning you out. And so when you look at the historic numbers that Jokic has been putting up, the results have been losses. Now on the other side of things, you look at Calvin Booth, the general manager. Think about this for a second. You have a guy that's a generational talent, a guy that's the best player in the league, 3-time MVP, that is playing at an historic level, and you fail to make moves at the All-Star break. You're failing him by not getting the necessary pieces around him to put him in the contentions to go and compete for a title. If you watch the Boston Celtics, what did they do before they won a championship? They went and got Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday. They added those 2 guys. We watched the Cavs make a move at the trade deadline to go get DeAndre Hunter. We watched Oklahoma City Thunder, who finished #1 in the West last year, come up and say, you know what, we're going to go get Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso. When you have a guy like Jokic, when you have a guy like Steph, Bron, Giannis, you got to do everything in your power to surround them with the necessary pieces every single year that they could go out there and compete for a title. So it was no surprise to me, because at this point, the ownership had to do what's best for the organization and their franchise guy, Nikola Jokic, and that's protect his peace and somewhat find that joy and happiness again.
Yeah, what's interesting is they have a top-heavy lineup in terms of salary, so it makes it hard for them to make moves. But you make a great point there. You have to wonder what Jokic thinks of this move with Michael Malone. And now, just to put this in context, 4 of the last 6 NBA title-winning coaches are no longer with the team that they won with. Only Boston's Joe Mazzulla and Golden State's Steve Kerr remain. How quickly they forget title winners. Exactly. Perk, thanks.
Hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn cách làm một chiếc áo mini cho búp bê nha. Nguyên liệu mình cần có chính là len. Mình sử dụng 3 màu sắc như thế này để làm nha mọi người. Hồng, xanh lá và vàng nha, sẽ kết hợp lại với nhau. Rồi mọi người chuẩn bị cho mình kim móc len và kéo. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt tay vào làm. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ sử dụng cái phần len màu xanh trước đi. Đỡ một chút len ra nha.